19 minutes to 8, and welcome to the programme if you've just joined us. In 1962, 4 young boys walked into the Abbey Road recording studios in London and made a single, and at the same time altered pop music history. The 4 young boys made up the group The Beatles, and the single was Love Me Do, and the rest, as they say, was history. Richard Loring is now presenting a tribute to the Beatles called Ticket to Ride, and this is what it's all about.
Becky Lane is wrong, showing photograph of every head he's had the pleasure to know, and all the people that come and go, stop to say hello. On the corner is a bank with a motor car, the little children of the tin behind his back, and the bank never wears a Mac. In the pouring rain, very strange. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. Beautiful suburban skies, I sit 10 feet mile back. Penny Lane, there is a fireman with an hourglass. In his pocket is a portrait of the Queen. He likes to keep his fire engine clean. It's a clean machine. I said no. He said stop. A nice egg on the cob. Whoa, you say goodbye. I say hello. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. You say I'm a dollar, baby, that's your best. Wonders how you manage to be see how they ride. Baby, I'm a dollar, lying on the bed. Listen to the music playing in your head.
Real foot-stomping stuff as we all sit here and reminisce and remember the good old Penny Lane days and so forth. Good morning to Jeff Wild, Alan McManus, Paul Yazbek and Colin Reeder sitting on the other side there.
Hello. Hello.
You all look so respectable.
Yes, sir.
I've had a bath today.
Just for television. Just no jeans, no t-shirts.
But that was pretty much the original look.
Yes, the round collars, the nice suits. I mean, the Beatles started out as a rough rock and roll band, but once Brian Epstein got hold of them, it was suits and
And they tidy them up.
yes, a lot.
That's when they got the QBEs that are still, you know,
Yeah.
pretty-looking boys.
Yes.
When they started in the Cavern, they were very simplistic musicians, really. Some great melodies, but very, very simple sounds.
Yes, as I said, they started off just doing rock and roll things, Chuck Berry songs, stuff from the 50s. So in the Cavern, although they were writing a lot of their own songs, it was based on 12-bar simple things.
And was it Epstein who actually promoted their original music?
I think McCartney and Lennon always wanted their own songs to be heard, but Epstein could market it better and show them in a better light, yeah.
When you started doing, Alan, the sort of chronological history, how did you go about selecting the songs? Because there's a wealth of material.
Yeah, there's mostly left up to Richard and Paul Ditchfield as well, and also Ian Van Memety. They also had something to do with it.
What
Also
did they
we
have to
as
do
well.
with it?
Well, they selected a lot of the songs, and we'd been playing some of the songs as well.
Who did the arrangements?
Well, we did, plus it was Mike Pilot, who did all the stuff for Springbok Hits and all that. He did all those albums. He was the musical director.
We'll have to get Paul to say something.
Well, he's the only one without an accent.
Yeah, I don't need an interpreter.
Do you understand the other 3, Paul?
Yes, when they don't talk too quickly. It took a bit of a while to... there's still the odd word that I'm, not too sure of. And
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What is it a story? Is it the story of the beginning of the Beatles from when they were discovered right up until when Lennon died?
There's no real chronological order, but it's just excerpts from sort of seminal parts of the Beatles' lives and, you know, the sort of recreation of that era in part. Yeah.
What's seminal? What's that?
We don't know these words.
What I find interesting is that the Beatles really were only around for about, what, 7 or 8 years? And yet their music is still as popular today as ever.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, vocally it's just so strong, you know, harmony-wise, and musically it's quite simple, but I mean, you know, the vocals are just so catchy, and, you know, the harmonies are just so good, and, you know, these guys have got it down.
Now, Colin, why should we go and see the show? What's so special?
Because it's good.
To give us more.
It's basically, it's like, as you say, from the history of the Beatles, start to finish. And people, like, you go down to see it, like, normally you sit in the theatre, and you're sitting down, you're watching the show, but this, it's more relaxed, and it's more of like a family show. And you sit down, you start, and it's, as I say, it goes from the beginning right through. And then by the end of it, all the people that are dancing around on the tables going absolutely berserk. We're supposed to come off, and then we end up doing about 2 or 3 encores.
We'll have to go and see it.
Yeah,
but I'm very interested, you know, Colin, you were born after the Cavern days. You know, you were born after the Beatles were launched. Now, what drew you to the Beatles' music? Because you obviously didn't know it as a child.
Being from Liverpool, I mean, you're brought up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, I mean, you only have to say Liverpool, you either say football or the Beatles. That's one of the two, you know.
What does the show consist of? Not just singing, surely.
No, there's dialogue from Paul Ditchfield.
Is he a sort of narrator?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and good lighting, good sound, and really, really entertaining.
I've read in one of the press releases that there's a little area for people who actually can't help themselves anymore to go and really
Yes.
Like a small dance floor at the front, but it doesn't matter. In the end, they dance in between the tables, on the tables. It's great.
That sounds wonderful.
It's great.
It's just a good night out.
We had a guy of about 85 the other night who had a cane and a broken arm, and he's still trying to twist at the front.
And then we had a lady as well there. She's actually sitting right at the front. She had both fingers in the ears. But she was loving the show, and then we do like part with Maxwell's Silver Hammer, and she's like this, one finger in the ear and banging on the tables. And then she still got up and had a dance as well.
She was deaf enough by the end of the evening, so she could. Fantastic. I think we should ask the chaps to do us a song, really.
At this time in the morning.
Do you think, have you warmed up?
Oh, it's okay. We need the practice anyway.
Now, we both like things like The Long and Winding Road and Here, There and Everywhere, the later stuff of the Beatles, even Norwegian Wood.
Yeah.
But Nowhere Man, do you think you guys could get that one together for us?
We'll have a try.
Get your tongues around it.
We'll have a go.
All right, well, do you want... are you going to unmic yourselves quickly?
Yeah.
Just be very
This
careful.
one. We need this one.
Just be very careful about how you go about... Yeah, that's right.
I want this. It'll save Mr. Loring some money.
Yes, it will. It'll cost us some if we give it to you. So just...
This is the earliest we've ever been up in our lives, by the way.
All right, if you'll take the stage on the other side there
And we've got...
and do us a little song.
They look so cute in those Beatles
Thank you. I'll
outfits.
see you later.
It's interesting, you know, if you think about it, about the Beatles' music as such. I think there are about 1 or 2 whole generations in South Africa that grew up without the music of the Beatles.
And yet they love it. The kids today love the music of the Beatles.
Fascinating. Anyway,
right,
lads, if
guys,
you're
we
ready,
wanna
take it
hear
away,
you.
please.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere man, the world is at your command. He's as blind as he can be. He just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere man, can you see me at all? Nowhere man, don't worry. Take your time, don't hurry. Leave it all to somebody else. Lend you a hand. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. singing his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
And making memories for all of us in the studio. Nowhere Man, that's going back to the time of the Beatles' music. And their lyrics started to get a bit more involved in what was going on around them during those heady, wild 60s and early 70s. Thanks to the guys, that's From Ticket to Ride, so make sure you take in that show if you have the time. From music, oh, I love that. We go to something to pay Dorian's salary, and then we've got weather and news after
Buy
that.
my clothes.
At your soundstage?
Well, you know, we had the big night there and we were very lucky.